So let me tell you a story. Last year, I was working with a youth footballer at a top academy in Europe. He was the captain, player of the year, the star man for his team, and he even led his team all the way to the final. But this season, everything's changed. He's moved up an age group, got shifted into a new position, is no longer the captain, and after just the second game of the season, he was dropped to the bench. When he did get subbed on, he ended up picking up a red card and getting suspended for a couple of games. And this is despite the fact he's been working harder than ever, making real improvements in his game. He had an insane preseason, and it looked like his trajectory would continue. So as you can imagine, his confidence took a huge hit. He felt like all his effort wasn't leading anywhere. But here's what I told him in our session, and it's something that every athlete needs to understand. Your effort and your results don't always align. And once you really get that, staying confident becomes so much easier. Now you might be thinking, hold on, what do you mean your effort and your results don't always align? And that should actually help your confidence. That sounds backwards, right? Well, let me explain. In sport, there's often a lag time between the work that you put in and the results you see. You might be training harder than ever, improving technically, physically, and mentally, but that doesn't always show up straight away in terms of goals, in minutes, and performances that get recognized. On top of that, sport has a huge element of luck. Sometimes it goes in your favor, sometimes it goes against you. That's just the reality. And if you expect your journey to be a perfect upward line, you're setting yourself up for constant disappointment. But here's the freeing part. Once you accept that effort and results won't always match in the short term, you can detach your confidence from outcomes. And it doesn't mean that you stop caring or you stop competing. It just means that you stay grounded because you know a dip is just a blip. And any ship captain in history has had to deal with choppy waters to reach their final destination. That's sport, that's life. Nobody's path is perfectly smooth. And this is the real difference between insecure athletes and truly confident ones. Insecure athletes panic the second something goes wrong. One bad game and suddenly they think, I'm a fraud, I've been found out, I'm on the decline. They let every little setback destroy them. But the confident athlete, they know that bad games, bad weeks, and even bad months don't define them. They keep their confidence steady because they trust their process. They know it's just a matter of time before the results catch up with the effort. And psychologically, this ties into two things. Firstly, locus of control, which is about where you put your energy. Athletes with an external locus of control focus on things outside of themselves. The referee, coach's decisions, luck, teammates, or even just the scoreboard. When the outcomes go wrong, they feel powerless, frustrated, and their confidence collapses. Everything feels like it's against them. On the other hand, athletes with an internal locus of control focus on what they can directly influence: their training, their preparation, their mindset, and their decisions on the field. They understand that while they can't control every external factor, they control how they show up, how hard they work, and how they respond to setbacks. That's where real confidence comes from. For example, think back to the academy player that I was working with. He couldn't control being moved up to an age group, losing the captaincy or that red card. That's all external. But he could control how he trained in his new position, his recovery, his attitude, and his effort in every session. When he focused on those internal factors, his confidence stabilized. He stopped punishing himself for things outside of his control and instead directed all his energy towards improvement. This internal focus is what separates the athletes who crumble under pressure from those who stay calm and consistent, no matter what the scoreboard says. And then the second piece is detachment from outcomes. And no, this doesn't mean you stop caring about winning or improving. You still want to win. You still want to perform at your very best. It just means that you don't let the results define your confidence or self-worth. Think about athletes who panic after one bad game, one missed shot, one loss, and they're suddenly doubting themselves. I'm not good enough. I'm falling behind. I'll never improve. That's just plain insecurity talking. Detachment from outcomes flips the script. You see setbacks as data, not a statement about who you are. For example, imagine a point guard who just missed 3 open 3-pointers in the first quarter. An insecure player might hesitate on the next shot, force a bad play, or just stop trusting their instincts. But a truly confident player, they step up again, they read the defense, and take the next good shot with the same level of belief. Every shot is a new opportunity. The missed threes are just information, not reflection of their ability. Psychologically, this works because it lets you stay in the present and just stay completely process focused. You observed what happened, you learn from it, and then move on. You're not erasing emotions, you're choosing how to respond to them. And over time, that steadiness in your mindset is what separates athletes who crumble under pressure from those who are unshakable. Okay, so now let's talk about 3 simple reflection prompts that I encourage athletes to use. These are designed to help you develop the mindset of sustaining confidence even when your effort doesn't immediately match the results. The first prompt is, did I do my job? After a loss, a bad game, or a mistake, ask yourself this question. And what I mean by your job is the actions and standards that are actually in your control. The things that you are truly responsible for, regardless of the final score. Think about it like this. Did you stick to the plays that you were meant to make? Did you hit your runs, communicate on defense, take smart shots, stay disciplined in your role? Asking yourself this forces you to reflect honestly on your performance and separate that effort from outcome. Because sometimes you lose even when you did everything right. And then sometimes you win, but you didn't stick to your standards. This reflection helps you see that both of those realities are possible. But the key here is that it reinforces consistency. If you keep doing your job, focusing on the things that you can control, the results will eventually follow. And it protects your confidence because even if the scoreboard says that you lost, you can still leave the game knowing that you executed your role to the best of your ability. The second reflection prompt that I want you to use is, does this result change me as an athlete? Now, this one really is about perspective. One bad game, one mistake, one loss, it doesn't fundamentally change who you are as a player or who you are as a person. It doesn't make you better or worse. It's just a result. A score on the board, a line in the newspaper, a stat that people will forget. It doesn't define your identity. The important thing is that you showed up. You put in your effort and that you executed your role to the best of your ability. That's what really matters. Results matter in the moment. Of course we want to win. Of course we want to push ourselves, but we cannot let one result shake our confidence or who we are as an athlete. When you reflect this way, your confidence becomes steady. You're not fragile, you're not reactive. You stay grounded. And that allows you to keep showing up, performing and improving, no matter what the scoreboard says. And then the third reflection prompt is this just a lag in the process? This one is all about perspective and patience. As said, sometimes even when you're putting in the work and executing your role perfectly, the results just don't show up right away. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It often just means that the timing isn't right yet. Maybe you're still finding your rhythm. Maybe you need a few more performances to hit your peak, or maybe the game just hasn't aligned perfectly yet. That's just how performance works. You will know from experience that when learning new skills or plays that finally there comes a point where everything clicks into place. But before that moment, you can have many nearlies. So asking yourself this question encourages you to step back and be logical rather than reactive. It reminds you that one off day, one loss, or one bad performance doesn't define your trajectory. It's a temporary lag, not failure. Your moment is coming. You just have to trust the process, keep doing what you know works, and maybe make the occasional small tweak along the way. This reflection is powerful because it gives you emotional freedom. It prevents panic, it prevents overreaction, and it keeps your confidence steady. You start to see that performance isn't always linear, and that's okay. You just need to keep showing up, keep executing your plan, and trust that the results will follow in time. But I get it. Even with this outlook, it can be hard to stop panic settling in during those moments where it feels like things aren't going your way. So to help you overcome this, you should watch this video next.